Hello and welcome again to VW Feast, and today we're going to make Korean fried chicken. Yummy! Yes, we're moving to another country to taste their fried chicken. For this we're using drumsticks, of course, meat next to the bone, much more tasty. We have a marinade, we have a batter, and then we have a sauce with all sorts of things like sesame seeds and this mysterious Korean chili paste. Let's see what that's like. Right, first we're going to make the marinade, and the VW will make this from onions and garlic. And this recipe today is actually given to us, and the ingredients are given to us by our great friend Mikyung, who has suggested we need to make Korean fried chicken, having made Japanese fried chicken. Of course, ultimately we will have to make Kentucky fried chicken. So while the VW just takes the skin off the onions and the garlic, we're now going to try and blend this down. Of course, this is our blender. Let's see if the VW has managed to learn how to use it. Anyway, first of all, for the chicken, we want to take some really deep scores, so all that marinade is going to go deep into the meat of the chicken. We'll do that with our nice, beautiful handmade knife from Derbyshire. Yes, shout out to Block Knives. Scoring down on the drumsticks, and then let's make this marinade. Yes, top goes on the bottom, and yeah, should go on, not going on. Why? We probably need to get a different blender. This one appears to be very, very tricky to assemble. VW is actually a phenomenally intelligent woman, but if you can make something that's this difficult to make, this difficult to assemble, what's the point of it? And we're there. Right, fizz that up, and what we're going to do is just chop it right down into small pieces so it obviously can get into the chicken. And we're just going to add a little bit of water to this just to loosen it up, so it's going to make sure it gets into every nook and cranny. As always, when you're marinating, the longer you can marinate, the stronger the flavour. We're probably just going to go for a couple of hours in the fridge. We don't really want this to be the overwhelming flavour, but just to tenderise the chicken and to give it a little bit of extra flavour. Of course, chicken's one of the few things we can actually still eat. The rest of the family are boycotting various different meats. All sorts of different reasons. It's going to be a wonderful Christmas with chicken. But maybe if we make this Korean fried chicken, then maybe we can still enjoy Christmas. Anyway, into the box, give it a good shake around, make sure it's all incorporated, and then just stick it in the fridge. Next we're going to make the sauce, and for this we're going to put some sesame seeds in. Now what we want to do is just to gently fry these off, and that will release some of the oils and give some of that extra nutty flavour. So just gently shake them around in a pan, keep them moving, you don't want them to catch. And eventually they'll look like this. So you see you've got some brown into them. You can actually smell that there's a different flavour to them as well. And put those aside. Right, so in go those sesame seeds, in goes some sugar, in goes some lemon juice, and then an ingredient very popular in multiple different Asian cooking, tomato ketchup. You'd be surprised at how often it's used. We need some more now, we're running out. And now the beautiful Korean chili paste. We've put our fingers into this. This is reasonably strong. It's not ridiculously strong. It's obviously very, very flavoured. Try how you want. Put different chili pastes in. If you want things hotter, obviously go for hotter. And if you want cooler, then don't put so much in. And then just mix it all together. We're just trying to get to a nice paste, a nice sauce that can be added to the chicken afterwards. So it's thick enough that it sticks to the chicken, but loose enough that it will be able to get all over the chicken. VW is just checking as it goes. Little taste, and a taste for the cameraman. Whoa. Right, now the batter, and for this batter we're going to use eggs, and what we're going to do is just going to whisk those up just a bit, just to break them down, and then once they're incorporated, we're going to start adding the other things. So in goes the salt and pepper, and now we're going to start adding some corn flour. Corn flour gives a very light batter. It's the batter we use with the Japanese chicken and again with the Korean chicken. This is why you have these wonderful sort of tempura-like batters that are very, very light. Add a little bit of water just to loosen it up and just keep beating it to incorporate it. So what we're looking for is something that will coat the chicken, will keep the chicken from drying out as it fries, will give it a nice crunch, but won't be so heavy and thick and claggy that it overwhelms the dish. And this is why we're going for this much lighter batter. And by whisking it this way, we're incorporating air into it, so again, keeping that batter nice and light. What you will have noticed actually in the last one I forgot to mention was that we change boards. As you cut chicken and as you work with chicken, you must keep that separate from other ingredients, because still unfortunately you need to be very, very careful around chicken. So kids, if you're watching it, don't use the same chopping board for chicken as anything else. There's our public safety message. Right, we're incorporating this, we're breaking it down, we're getting those big, big blobs of corn flour into it. This obviously doesn't have to be absolutely perfect because it's not going to be a sauce, but we want it smooth enough that it's going to coat without getting extra blobs all over the chicken. And then simply pop the chicken into the batter. And then once it's all incorporated, we'll lift it out into the fryer one by one to fry it off. Just working it round so the batter coats everything. Right, batter and into the fryer, and this is obviously at a very high heat, and as you put the chicken into the fryer you can see that it immediately cooks, bubbles and spits, so always be careful. We're just going to put 2 of the drumsticks in. That's probably about as much as going to fit into our fryer, and just keep moving them around so they don't stick to the basket and so they cook evenly. As you can see, these just poke just a little bit above the surface, so you want to make sure that bit is in the oil as well and cooks. We're going to use these in the fryer just to crisp up the batter. We will put them in the oven a little bit at the end just to make sure they're cooked through. It's very important that you do cook the chicken through before you serve. Make sure that any juices that come out of the chicken run clear. That's the crucial way of checking that the chicken is cooked. If you still get pink juices, then it's not cooked, and that would be bad. So moving this around, at this stage actually our neighbours can start smelling the frying, and they've already got their knives and forks on their counter because they know that there's too much food for us and they're going to get some. So just take those out and put them onto a pan just ready to oven bake the last bit, and put those other 2 drumsticks in just to fry them off. And when they're ready, you have something like this, and you can see that that batter is lovely and crispy. You saw how thin it was, so it's not really claggy. And then just pop those into the oven. Then after a few minutes, we're ready. We put the sauce over the chicken and you're ready to eat. I would use fingers and lots of napkins because this is messy. So here we have Korean fried chicken. Enjoy.